Yo, hello?
Hey Gary, it's Joe. I just got off the phone with NASCAR. You were right, Hendrick was up to something. Every car has just been penalized 50 points and a $50,000 fine for illegal modifications to their brakes.
Following the news of NASCAR penalties on Hendrick Motorsports, the team immediately filed for an appeal which took place earlier today. The appeal team has overturned NASCAR's 50-point penalty on each car and has instead only issued a financial penalty to the team, which now results in $200,000 worth of penalties to Hendrick. NASCAR is furious with the call coming into this weekend.
It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is. They got caught cheating, and the appeal team lets them off the hook.
I'm really disappointed in our appeal team this week. I won't comment any further on the subject.
A huge development in the season. Hendrick Motorsports caught cheating, and we were the first one to catch on to it in Road America, and sure enough, they were outed, they were caught, and they got the penalties originally that they had overturned into just a financial penalty, so they keep their points, they keep the wins that they had in Road America, which we know now was an illegal modification to the brakes on the number 5 car. However, coming into this weekend here from New Hampshire, there's a lot of drama around Hendrick Motorsports, and one thing that does come out of this penalty is their brakes and the system they were using were confiscated. They no longer have access to that system that they were using, those modifications that they were using. So we're going to see what that translates for with Hendrick Motorsports. You had to pay a $200,000 penalty fine coming into this weekend after what was originally going to be about $50,000. Obviously, with the points getting overturned, it turns into just $200,000. And in my opinion, just a slap on the wrist. And you heard Denny Hamlin's thoughts on it. You heard as well NASCAR President Steve Phelps speak on it. He was, of course, not happy, and he didn't really go into much on it. But we had to focus in on our race and our weekend here. There's nothing we can do about it from this point on. And amidst all the drama with HMS, we come through at a turn 4 here in our qualifying run, and we shatter the lap time for the goal, and we go P3, row number 2. Here in New Hampshire, quite happy with that as on pole position. It's not a Hendrick car, it's actually shockingly Sammy Smith, and Hendrick Motorsports is not even present in the top 10. How about that? The top Hendrick Motorsports car yet to be found. Hold on, we'll find it eventually. Corey LaJoy in 20th, 25th for Larson. Elliott Byron 30th and 34th. Oh my goodness, this is going to be an interesting race. Let's see how they do as we get ready to roll from New Hampshire. Alright boys, no illegal brakes in our car hopefully this weekend, right?
We're all good, mate, I can confirm.
So we're focused in on, just running our race and seeing what we can do here in New Hampshire, moving past already this Hendrick Motorsports debacle, cheating, scandal, penalty, etc. We have a race to focus on, and we have a race to win. I want to get win number 3 on the season, and a great qualifying effort sets us up well, as you can see at the back of the grid, Brad Keselowski there after crashing. In the field this weekend, we have Chase Purdy in the number 33. He was actually in last episode in Pocono as well, and making his oval debut, rookie Connor Zilish in the 98 for Andretti Global, as a green flag is out, and we are underway here from New Hampshire now. Kyle Busch joining Sammy Smith, the rookie for Andretti Global, on the front row as we make this run into turn 1. Got the Gatorade colors on our Toyota Camry for the 3rd time this season here now as we get ready to open it up on the exit of turn 2. I'm feeling confident about our pace here from New Hampshire. On my outside, we've got our teammate of Christopher Bell in the number 20. Christopher Bell, always very strong when it comes to this New Hampshire racetrack. There's actually getting to the back of the 27 of Smith, but out of turn 4 will clear the number 20. Kyle Busch continues alongside Smith. I think that 27 car doesn't have number 1 pace here. He might have qualified pole, but certainly you can see when he's getting passed around the outside, definitely not a good sign of things to come for Sammy Smith. Kyle Busch clear to the lead, lap 2 of 23. In stage number 1, we're going to follow suit in that Wendy's car, with that Wendy's car, and we'll clear the 27 already. Bell to the inside of Smith, but up into 2nd place here through 3 and 4. We really allow this car to get a good exit on both sides of the racetrack here, on the exit of 2, the exit of 4 as well. And as we start lap 3, I'm going to lunge one alongside Kyle Busch here into turn number 1. We'll get pretty well even with the number 99 Wendy's machine. On the exit of the corner, though, he has a bit of an advantage, but we get the run down this back straightaway. This battle would continue side by side down into turn 1 now on lap 4, but I think we can clear this 99 car as we come through 1 and 2. Kyle Busch has had a lot of bad luck this season in his move to Trackhouse Racing, including last episode with a mechanical issue, and now as we head down this back straightaway, I'm going to lunge one into turn 3. There we go, clear for the lead, lap 4 here in New Hampshire now, and looking to lead our first lap of the day as we exit 4 down this front straightaway. We will in fact get that first lap led, and now focus in on just trying to run away, and this is where you're going to see how we got a strong car, at least in the short run. Now actually, we're not going to get to see anything. Noah Gregson goes around in turn 1, and the caution's going to fly for the first time. Austin Cindric gets a piece of it in that discount tire Ford Mustang as well. Caution flies early. Nobody pitting. We can make it to the end of stage 1 without having to make a pit stop. Very happy with how the car is driving in just a few laps, of course, completed, so it's starting to get a really good sample size of what we need, but nonetheless, we're back underway. Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, 3rd and 4th here, 14 laps to go in stage number 1. We'll lunge deep into turn 1. I don't like to run that bottom groove. There's that weird transition there, of course, when you get up off the bottom groove onto the, more, I guess, banked part of the track, and that flat part on the bottom. I just don't like being on it, so I usually try to avoid it, but we immediately start opening up a gap to Christopher Bell in that number 20. We have a very fast Gatorade number 19 here today. Win number 3 very well could be on the cards as long as we are able to just, be ready for anything and just avoid potential conflicts around the racetrack. But we had opened up the gap to nearly 2 seconds to now Kyle Busch, who had gotten back up into 2nd place. But I was paying attention to the relative quite a bit here, just about every lap, just to see if there's any cars on the track that were as fast as I was, and I immediately get an update from James Small.
Okay, so the more laps we put on the tyres, I'm seeing more fall off from you compared to the one car. He is faster.
You hear our crew chief there, James Small, letting us know that it seems like Ross Chastain might be the fastest car on the racetrack as the tires wear. So with only a handful of laps to go here in stage 1, I started really focusing in on the relative, specifically with the one car, and I could see he was closing in. 4.9, 5.0 seconds right now with 4 laps to go. We'll pay attention to what that gap looks like here over the course of these final couple of moments in this first and opening stage. But Kyle Busch for now maintains speed 2. We're long gone down the road, 3.8 seconds ahead of him. Still 4.9 to Chastain, but you can see Chastain passes Bell, and now 4.6 seconds back with 1 lap to go here in stage number 1. We haven't really been winning stages this season. We've got 2 wins and I think only 1 stage win this season. We were so close to getting a stage win against Bubba Wallace. I think it was in, I don't even remember what track it was now. I wanted to say Talladega, but I don't think that was the case. I think that's where we got a stage win. So through 3 and out of turn 4, actually it was Charlotte where we were side by side with Bubba for that stage win. But Chastain continues to close, but we pick up the stage win. We get another playoff point there. Stage 1 dominance right there. Not just winning the stage, absolutely dominating. Trackhouse 2nd and 3rd, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain. How about Justin Haley in the top 5? Another good run for him. Hamlin in the top 10. However, the driver he needs to be beating, Bubba Wallace, 1 spot ahead of him, getting a couple of points now. We will make some adjustments there, putting up the wedge to 50.2. The car was starting to slide around a little bit there as the run went on, reminding me a little bit of last episode in Pocono. Hendrick Motorsports, however, looking absolutely horrendous so far in this race. So very interesting, of course, after getting caught cheating and having those brakes, of course, confiscated now. But we're back underway for stage number 2 here from New Hampshire. Looking from the spotter's stand on the run down towards turn 1. We'll do a whole lap from the spotter's stand. You see Haley going 3 wide with Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell. Chastain settles into P2. He got down to the inside as we lead the way down this back straightaway down towards turn number 3 as the field starts to spread out and open things up here and settle in on this opening lap of stage number 2. But it's us in that Gatorade Toyota Camry out of turn 4, leading the way as we come through the restart zone down the front stretch. Chastain right on my rear bumper. 37 laps in stage 2, so a lot of time to let things happen here. A pit stop is necessary to make it to the end of this stage here, but we know this car is really strong in the short opening laps of a run, and you can see we were putting that to effect. We were running away already from Chastain. As we saw in stage 1, that one car looks very strong on the long run, so we want to open up as much of a gap. We don't know how long this is going to go green here in stage number 2, but we come to lap 6 and the gap a little bit larger now to the one of Chastain as we exit turn 2 down the SPAC straightaway. So about a full second between himself and I at this point now, as we just continue to click off some laps now. Trouble in the back, Ryan Newman for Rick Ware Racing. Smoke pouring out of the tire there. That's gone down. The caution is going to fly, and that's going to be 2 opening cautions in the opening laps of both stages, I should say. But nobody is going to come into the pit lane here, so we're all going to stay out and get ready to go back racing now from another early caution in a stage. So side by side now with Ross Chastain as a green flag. It's back out. We're racing behind us. How about that's John Hunter Nemechek right now in 4th place in the 42. He has been continuously rumored to be potentially going into the number 11 next season in place of Denny Hamlin. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. There is still things that could change. Another name that I've been hearing potentially coming into the Toyota realm of things is very potentially Chandler Smith. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But a lot of time still for things to happen with the regular season going into the playoffs and the silly season kicking off and whatnot. But of course, there's still some announcements on the way. We immediately open up a gap to 2nd place on back, and it's Chastain currently in P2 here, lap 13 of 37, and the car hasn't quite hit that long run fade fall off yet, so it's pretty happy with the pace that we have in this number 19 Gatorade Toyota. We just continue to do what we need to do, and I didn't want any changes beyond this point. I was very happy with how the car was driving. Smoke now out of the 97. Shane Van Gisbergen with a tire failure. That's going to bring out another caution, and everybody except for Shane Van Gisbergen is going to stay out, and actually William Byron, last car in the lead lap, is going to pit as well. I stay out just because I want to make sure we're on the same strategy as the rest of the field, but there is a question. I think that Shane Van Gisbergen and William Byron can make it to the end of the stage. They definitely can. We're 3 laps short, 21 laps to go in stage 2, and we have 18 laps of field. We probably should have pitted right there, and I'm actually surprised that everybody stayed out, aside from the 97 who had to pit, and the 24 of William Byron who had nothing to lose, being the last car on the lead lap. So suddenly, I think Shane Van Gisbergen and William Byron are in perfect position if it stays green. I don't think it's going to stay green though, because we've seen a lot of cautions already here. Haley and Chastain battling right now for 2nd and 3rd. Bubba Wallace into the mix as well, into the top 5. Ty Gibbs as well into the top 5. Don't rule out that number 54 as they were continuing to battle behind us now. Bubba Wallace looking for 2nd place. Chastain's dropped to 5th behind Ty Gibbs with 17 to go in the stage, and Bubba sure enough would get to 2nd place, but it was pretty short-lived. He was already under attack from Ty Gibbs now, who was up the inside into turn number 1 here on lap 23 of 37, and now Ty Gibbs moves through. A lot of positions shuffling around there from 2nd to 5th, but we continue just absolute dominance now. Cautions are helping us because there's just less laps on the tires. Chastain, though, by lap 27 had worked his way back up into the 2nd position, so now it's kind of a game on. Okay, we've hit the longer run in this car. Can Chastain close in on me? That's the big question now, and the answer was he was closing the gap here. But we're, in fact, going to have to pit here before long if we don't get a caution, and that's going to play right into the wheelhouse of the 97 of SVG and the 24 of William Byron. So let's see what happens over the next few laps, but we continue leading the way. Chastain is definitely closing, but he continues in the battle with Ty Gibbs. Now they're about 1 second behind as we go down into turn number 1, and they continue to go side by side, but even while they're doing that, they're still closing in on me. So maybe the 54 is well a bit stronger than me as the run goes longer, but they get a little bit larger in my rear view mirror. Now 0.8 of a second to Chastain, but you see the tire light going to come on first before the fuel. Car is now into the pits, as you see on the track map. Chastain, I think, is coming in. Yes, he is. Ross Chastain is into the pits. Ty Gibbs stays out. We're going to come in one more lap around, hoping a caution's going to come out, but it's not going to happen. We're going to get the longest green flag run of the day at really the worst time, because we're going to get robbed of a stage win here. We should have pitted at the caution. I just didn't think it was going to matter because I thought we were going to get another caution, and I think the rest of the field was also banking on that. So everybody that's pitting is doing 4 tires and fuel. We have a great pit stop, 15.1 seconds, and we get out way ahead of Ty Gibbs, and we're going to be way ahead of Ross Chastain. So once this cycle is through, and literally only another lap or so, we're going to be in third place, but it's Shane Van Gisbergen in first, William Byron in second, Jones and Hendrick right now third and fourth, but they're on the pit lane right now. So we will go through into that third position by the final lap here of stage number 2. White flag in stage 2 underway, and somehow we're actually on the lead lap, and Shane Van Gisbergen's going to put about half the field a lap down, and they're going to get stuck a lap down because there's not going to be a wave around opportunity here. As SVG, though, out of turn 4, Shane Van Gisbergen goes from benefiting from his own caution to winning stage 2. William Byron will get second place in that Hendrick car. Of course, very lucky because Hendrick is terrible today, but we round 3 and 4, and it's going to be third place for us here in the second stage. A bit lucky, of course, that we're at least going to stay on the lead lap and in position now as we cross the stripe, P3. So we only put a few laps on our tires. SVG and Byron have to pit, and I'm expecting everybody else around us are going to stay out. Yes, in fact, everyone's going to stay out, and only 17 cars on the lead lap. Carson Hocevar will make that 18 with the free pass. He'll go back around and get onto that lead lap. But we're going to be benefiting here going into the lead of this race, as SVG and Byron will go to the back 2 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else on the lead lap staying out, so nobody gets a wave around opportunity. A really weird moment in this race, but overall somehow it still worked out for us and Gibbs, Chastain, Haley, Kyle Busch, etc., Bubba Wallace, as we get ready to take the green flag. Stage number 3, the final stage, underway now as we take off. Lap 67, 39 laps of racing to go here from New Hampshire, so another pit stop will be necessary. Let's hope that we don't find ourselves in that same situation that we found ourselves in stage 2. We have had the dominant car here today, but we know this is going to be potential the longest run of the day. But let's amp it up here from New Hampshire. And there you have Amped from New Hampshire. Now 37 laps to go here as we continue to do what we've done all race long, opening up in a gap to the cars behind. Ty Gibbs right now in that second position. Toyota's looking strong. We know Chastain is going to be a threat here before this race is over here. We've had some early cautions in the first couple of stages so far. Will we see that again here in stage number 3? The answer, yes. Legacy Motor Club's Eric Jones around in the 43. Tire failure there. The caution is out here in New Hampshire again. We cannot make it for sure to the end, so we're going to stay out, and everybody else is going to stay out as well. So an early caution in stage 1, 2, and 3, and now we'll get ready to go back racing once again. Lap 73 coming to 74. Chastain P3, a good opportunity here for him to potentially take second place away from my teammate of Ty Gibbs. We dive down into turn number 1, staying in that second groove. Chastain in groove 1, and now he'll clear the 54 and move into P2, but you saw him check up there behind me, but sure enough, he stays clear. So second place goes to Ross Chastain. It could be game on now. We know that, I mean, based off what we saw in stage 2, there is potential. This goes green from now to the end of this race. If it does, it's going to be a serious threat from that one of Chastain. It's not going to be cruising to victory lane for us. We've had the fastest car in the short run, but we know the long run is in favor of the one car of Chastain. We just haven't got a long enough run for Chastain to really be able to utilize it here. There's been cautions thrown sporadically throughout this race. And for once, I'm a big fan of these cautions because it has helped us, tremendously here today. So I wouldn't be, disappointed with another caution or two, depending on when they come, of course. Now, as we continue on, Chastain under pressure right now. I believe that's the 23 of Bubba Wallace, actually, putting some pressure. Another caution is going to strike Connor Zilish in his oval debut. Hello, Connor Zilish. Welcome to oval. Is nearly up and over. The caution is out on lap 76, and everybody will now come into the pit lane because we can make it to the end. And look at this. We take 4 tires, but we have some surprise calls. 2 tires from Gibbs, Smith, Van Gisbergen, and others in the top 10 as well. So we're going to go back racing. Myself, Chastain, Bubba Wallace. We're the only 3 cars in the top 10 that took 4 tires. So this is a really unique situation here where some think that 2 is going to be the way to go. Bubba Wallace 3 wide up the inside now of Chastain as we exit turn 2 side by side with the 20, but we need to be patient here. We still got 25 laps to go. There's nothing to, be silly over. We're just going to be patient, let this thing roll, because we now know we're the first car on 4 tires, but definitely did not expect to see a 2-tire call from 1 car at all, but yet we've seen it from several inside the top 10, and it's benefiting Ty Gibbs. He's driving away as we continue behind this 13 into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2, when we've now damaged the right side of our car, and you can see it visually now when Bubba Wallace slips through. And fortunately for us, it's not a total KO of the right side, so it's not over yet, but a costly error. And now we're the second car on 4 tires, and maybe the third, as Chastain slips up the inside. 23 laps to go, and we've had the dominant car for the first time this season. We have had the dominant car, really, and we might have potentially thrown a chance at victory away now to the back of Chandler Smith. Now I'm not wasting time. I said get out of my way, so I used the bumper, lay it to him into turn 3. We'll slip up the inside of him 3 wide through the middle with our teammate as well of Bell on the inside. We clear the 13 back into the top 5, and Bubba Wallace is through in a second. As we would continue on, we would now get to the outside of Shane Van Gisbergen here, lap 84 on this back straightaway into turn number 3. Up into the top 3 we go, clearing him with ease, but Chastain coming through as well. Bubba Wallace, myself, and Chastain, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all on 4 fresh tires. Gibbs leads the way, but only on 2 tires, as we continue to now put some pressure on that DraftKings 2311 driver. Bubba Wallace would love to win this race, get himself into the playoffs over Denny Hamlin, who's the last driver in the playoffs right now. But by the way Bubba is running, Hamlin might be out of the playoffs anyways at the end of this episode here. But now to the outside of the 23, looking for that 2nd position. Now, if it stays green to the end, there's still enough time for that 1 of Chastain to really mix things up here with myself and the 23 as well. But Ty Gibbs on those 2 tires struggling to pull away, and now we are all over the back of him, both myself and Bubba Wallace, as we exit turn 4 coming to lap 88. We continue in this engaged battle, and out at turn 2 lap 88 the door is open to the outside of the 54 Club Cadet Toyota Camry, looking for the lead here in New Hampshire. Wallace sees the situation, he forces it 3 wide. Now we're on the outside, Gibbs in the middle, Chastain licking his chops, he's into the mix as well. Bubba Wallace to the lead here from New Hampshire as we continue wheel to wheel with the 54. 17 laps to go. What a power move from Bubba, as now Chastain trying to force it 3 wide as well. He gets up the inside, shows the nose on the 54, but fortunately we clear Gibbs, but Chastain to my inside briefly. We stay ahead though. P2 again as we focus our attention to the 23. We once again run Bubba Wallace down, but Chastain filling up my rear view mirror. The longer we spend behind the 23, the better the opportunity is for that number 1. So I'm trying to force the issue. 91 laps in to the outside of Bubba Wallace on the exit of turn 2, trying to get the lead back here. We're going to be side by side down this back straightaway. Chastain looking for an opportunity as well into the outside wall out of turn 2. It's our teammate of Christopher Bell in the 20. A right front tire failure, and the caution will fly. A late race restart on the way here from New Hampshire, as Bubba Wallace, myself, Chastain, your top 3 going into this restart. We're going to be, for the first time in a while, on the outside, and Chastain is going to be in a really good spot, and I'm curious to see how he's going to treat this restart. Don't forget last episode, as we go green, we had that big moment with Chastain and Pocono where we got into his left rear, turned him all around, and now here we are maybe battling for a win. 11 laps to go from New Hampshire into turn number 1. Bubba does a great job protecting the inside here. Now it's been since Atlanta last season, since Bubba Wallace last went to victory lane. This season he's had good pace. He's been right in that playoff bubble area for the majority of this season. We swing to the outside, Chastain showing the nose. There it is. He's nearly got to the inside, can't quite make it happen. Bubba Wallace stays ahead, and we again get the run, but have to back under the throttle a little bit there on the exit of 4. Just pushed up a little bit tight, so of course not wanting to hit the outside wall. But again, we do this lap after lap. We get to the outside of the 23 through 1 and 2, and now we're dead even on the exit of the corner, and we continue dead even into turn 3. Here comes Chastain, 3 wide up the inside. The second time we've been 3 wide on the outside, and now Ross the boss, Chastain, to the lead, looking for his second win of the season. 9 laps to go, and we continue in this heck of a scrap here for this victory. Bubba Wallace, myself, Chastain, the drivers on 4 tires. We finally cleared the 23, but it wasn't over. He got back up my inside as I'm committed to making this pass around the top. I'm not confident in this car on the inside of another car here in New Hampshire, so I'm just trying to do it in this second lane, and we've been making it work all race long. To the outside of the 1, he stays clear for a moment, and now I decide, okay, 7 to go, we're going to dive one up the inside, wheel to wheel with the 23, now on my inside here with 3 wide again. Bubba Wallace has been getting the elbows out all race long. He uses us up. We drop down to 3rd place. Now Ty Gibbs still here in the mix. Don't count out that number 54. He's on 2 fresh tires, but he has been saving his stuff while us 3 up here have been battling it out, coming to 6 laps to go in New Hampshire. One heck of a battle for this win. It's been a 3-horse fight, and now side by side again with Ross Chastain into turn number 1. Can we clear him? Yes, we can. We take P2. We slide up just a little bit there to shut the door, but Bubba Wallace has a multi-car length lead now as we exit turn 2, but we know we can run him down. 5 to go, and you can already see visually the gap is closing as we roll through 1 and 2. Now within a couple of car lengths of that 23, Ty Gibbs actually into P3. Chastain has dropped down to 4th place, and now with 4 laps to go, sideways right there on the transition between that bottom lane and lane 2, and that opens up again the gap to the 23 of Bubba Wallace approaching the final 3 laps. Is Bubba Wallace gonna get that first win of the season here as we close in on the playoffs? Now crash in the back, Kyle Busch, 2 races in a row with a mechanical failure, and the bubble driver continues to face issues, and that is going to force NASCAR overtime. We've been in these overtime scenarios before. We're row 1, outside line, Bubba Wallace in control, Gibbs 3rd, watch out for that number 54. Here we go, win number 3 on the line now as we're back underway. Bubba Wallace looking for win number 1, Gibbs as well looking for win number 3, Chastain looking for win number 2. Side by side with the 23 DraftKings Camry through 1 and 2. We roll right there on his door on the exit of the corner. We slip and slide though on the exit. Gibbs to the inside now looking to pounce on the 23 as we go side by side down this back straightaway. 1 lap to go when we come back around. Through 3, we dive it up the outside of Bubba Wallace again. Can't make it stick, but we open up that car on the exit. This is going to be the opportunity to get the run down the front straightaway, but Gibbs is not going to allow me to make a move up the inside. White flag in the air into turn 1 again. We lunge 1 deep on the 23 of Bubba Wallace. He is in control, but if we can just stay at his right rear on the exit of turn 2, we're going to. We'll be side by side with Bubba for the lead. He's briefly clear. Gibbs still won't allow me to get to the inside. Into turn 3, a bump and run not going to be possible. We send it. Gibbs gets up the inside of the 23. It's 3 wide for the lead, and out of turn 4, Ty Gibbs slips through on the inside, and he's going to do it. We exit the corner behind, side by side to the line. Ty Gibbs steals the win in New Hampshire. We have to settle for 2nd. Bubba Wallace ends up 3rd. Gibbs gets his 3rd win of the season, the most of anybody. As you see the rest of the order, Shane Van Gisbergen and Reddick there in the top 10. Denny Hamlin top 10. Corey LaJoie as well top 10. Byron 15th. Looking at Hendrick Motorsports, the other 2 Hendrick cars in the bottom half of the field. Larson and Elliott outside of the top 20, and as well a few DNFs there with Bell, Jones, Newman, Gregson, etc. Wasn't great days for them. Looking at the point standings, of course, right now a really interesting scenario going forward where Hamlin is now 2 points below Bubba Wallace, but Kyle Busch's continuous bad luck is putting him at threat. Keselowski's had a few rough weeks as well. Going into his home race in Michigan, it'll be interesting to watch. And as well, Gilliland and Briscoe both trying to get into their top 30 with the wins they have. This is going to be a heck of an ending to this regular season. I'll see you guys in the next episode from Michigan. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.